Stories can make you, or stories can break you. For some, stories are tales of courage, of love, of triumph. But for others, like me, stories are survival. They are not just bad memories, they are evidence. Foreigners, of course, know of the existence of untouchability, but not being next door to it, so to say, they are unable to realize how oppressive it is in its actuality. We, so-called untouchables, are like foreigners in our own Indian land, unable to access basic rights like shelter, water, and even dignity without permission from the upper caste. This is my story and the story of millions for whom dignity was always a distant dream. This is our waiting for a visa. Our family came originally from Dapoli Taluka of the Ratnagiri district of the Bombay Presidency. After retirement as Subedar, my father took our family to Dapoli, then shifted to Satara, where we lived till 1904. The first incident occurred in about 1901 when we were at Satara. My father was appointed as a cashier at Goregaon in Kottab Taluka in the Satara district. Being a cashier, my father could not leave his station to come to Satara to see us. Therefore, he wrote to us to come to Masar in train and spend our summer vacation with him. This is our journey. All the passengers gone away. We 4 children remained on the platform looking out for my father or his servant whom he had promised to send. After a while, the station master approached us and was quite sure that we were Brahmin children due to our proper dress.
Who are you and who are you waiting for?
We are Mahars and waiting for our father to pick us.
As soon as he heard my reply, he went away to his room and we stood where we were. We were just children trying to reach our father in Goregaon. But we were not just travelers. We were untouchables.
Can you drive the cart?
Yes.
Pay him double, drive yourself, and he will follow you walking at 10 feet distance.
Cartman agreed as he got double fare and also saved him from being polluted. The cartman took a halt near the river and asked to have our meal, as we might not get water on our way. We agreed. He asked us to give a part of his fare to enable him to go to the village and have his meal. The river water was not intended for human use. At any rate, the stink of the water was so strong, we could not drink it. We had therefore to close our meal before we were satisfied and wait for the arrival of the cartman. He came in the late night and started driving the cart himself. Probably nobody was able to see him in the night, and he might have tired walking. In some time we came to a light near to hill, where there was hut of toll collector. We spent the night at the foot of that hill. Early morning the journey started with and reached to Goregaon at 11 a.m.
You came walking.
I knew that in the school I could not sit in the midst of my class but in a corner. I knew that in the school I was to have a separate piece of gunny cloth for me to squat on. I knew that to quench my thirst I had to depend on a peon to open the tap. If no peon, then no water. Washing was done by my sisters because no washerman would wash the clothes. The hair cutting was done by our elder sister, as no barber would do it for us. But this incident gave me a shock such as I never received before, and it made me think about untouchability, which, before this incident happened, was with me a matter of course, as it is with many touchables as well as the untouchables. In 1918, I was obliged to return to India without completing my studies in London School of Economics. As I was educated by the Baroda state, I was bound to serve the state, and I am here in Baroda. My 5 years of stay in Europe and America had completely wiped out of my mind any consciousness that I was an untouchable, and that an untouchable, whenever he went in India, was a problem to himself and to others. But when I came out of the station, my mind was considerably disturbed by a question: where to go? Who will take me? It didn't matter that I wore a suit, or spoke English, or held a degree from Columbia. I was an untouchable, and they had no room for that. The inn was a two-storied building, on the ground floor of which lived an old Parsi with his family. He was a caretaker and supplied food to tourists who came there to stay. The inn on the first floor had a small bedroom, and adjoining it was one small bathroom with a water tap in it. He checked me in the hotel under the registry of Parsi name. It was a shelter, and that some shelter was better than no shelter. The rest was one big hall. At the time of my stay, the big hall was filled up with all sorts of rubbish, planks, benches, broken chairs. In the midst of the surroundings, I lived a single solitary individual. In this big hall on the first floor of the inn, there were no fellow human beings to talk to. I was quite alone. The whole hall was enveloped in complete darkness. There were no electric lights nor even oil lamps to relieve the darkness. The caretaker used to bring up for my use a small hurricane lamp. Its light could not extend beyond a few inches. In the absence of the company of human beings, I sought the company of books and read. Absorbed in reading, I forgot my lonely condition. I felt that I was in a dungeon, and I longed for the company of some human being to talk to. But there was none. It was the 11th day of my stay in the inn. Instantly I saw a dozen angry-looking, tall, sturdy Parsis, each armed with a stick, coming towards my room.
Who are you? Why did you come here? How dare you take a Parsi name, you scoundrel! You have polluted the Parsi inn!
When are you vacating?
Let me stay for a week.
Get out immediately. Do not show your face by the evening if you want to stay alive.
What shall I do now? Where to stay? Let me go to my friends.
If you come to my home, my servants will go.
My wife is coming to Baroda the next day, and I have to take her permission. Sorry.
I must quit the inn and had no friend to go to. The only alternative left was to return to Bombay. In 5 hours there is train to Bombay. Here I was driven to leave Baroda and return to Bombay in just 11 days. It was here for the first time that I learned that a person who is an untouchable to a Hindu is also an untouchable to a Parsi. The year was 1929. The Bombay government had appointed a committee to investigate the grievances of the untouchables. I was a member. I was there to investigate a case of social boycott, which had been declared by the Caste Hindus against the untouchables of that village. The untouchable of Chalisgaon requested me to stay with them overnight. The fact was the owner of the Tonga was Hindu, and he denied to drive the Tonga with an untouchable passenger. It was below his dignity. The Mahars could not tolerate that I should walk to their quarters, so they could arrange a Tonga, but could not arrange an experienced driver. To save my dignity, the Mahars of Chalisgaon had put my very life in jeopardy. For a basis, Hindu Tongawala has a dignity to look upon himself as a superior person over untouchables, even though he may be a barrister at law. In the year 1934, we decided to go sightseeing tour, including Buddhist caves at Viro. The journey was planned from starting from Nasik to Daulatabad, Hyderabad to Viro Aurangabad. Our faces, bodies and clothes were full of dust gathered in the course of our journey, and we all wished to have a wash. Without much thought, some members of the party washed their faces and their legs on the pavement with the water from the tank. After these ablutions, we went to the gate of the fort. An old Mohammedan with white flowing beard was coming from behind shouting,
The untouchables have polluted the tank!
Soon all the young and old Mohammedans who were near about joined him, and all started abusing us.
The deads have become arrogant. The deads have forgotten their religion. The deads must be taught a lesson. Why you did not tell them the local customs?
Is that what your religion teaches? Would you prevent an untouchable from taking water from this tank if he became a Mohammedan? Can we get into the fort or not? A person who is an untouchable to a Hindu is also an untouchable to a Parsi. With this incident, a person who is an untouchable to a Hindu is also an untouchable to a Mohammedan. This is a case of an untouchable school teacher in a village in Kathiawad and is reported in the Young India, a journal published by Mr. Gandhi.
My wife felt sick and her chest became inflamed. Her breathing became difficult and there was acute pain in the ribs. I went to call a doctor, but he said he would not go to the house of a Harijan, nor was he prepared to examine the child. He agreed to examine them only outside the Harijan colony. I took my wife out of the colony along with her newly born child. Then the doctor gave his thermometer to a Muslim. He gave it to me and I gave it to my wife, and then returned it by the same process after it had been applied. It was about 8 o'clock in the evening, and the doctor, on looking at the thermometer in the light of a lamp, said that the patient was suffering from pneumonia. Then the doctor went away and sent the medicine. The doctor refused to see her later. The lamp of my life has died out. She passed away at about 2 o'clock this afternoon.
The name of the untouchable school teacher, an upper caste doctor, is not mentioned. Due to refusal of treatment, the woman died. He felt no qualms of conscience in setting aside the code of conduct, which is binding on his profession. The Hindu would prefer to be inhuman rather than touch an untouchable. A Bayanji boy studied English up to the 4th standard. He applied to the backward classes officer, Ahmedabad, for the job of a talati, village patwari, and succeeded. On 19th February 1936, he was appointed a talati in the office of the Mamlattar of the Borsat Taluka in the Khera district.
Hey man, who are you?
So I am Harijan.
Go away! Stand at a distance. How dare you stand so near me? You are in office. If you were outside, I would have given you 6 kicks. What audacity to come here for service.
I could not touch the cans, for my touch would pollute the water. I had therefore to depend upon the mercy of the waterman. No caste Hindu would rent a house to me. One day, there were empty chairs outside of office. I sat on the chair.
Seeing me seated on the chair, the headman and the talati quietly went away without saying anything to me. A short while after, people began to come and soon a large crowd gathered round me.
Who allowed this dirty dog of a Bangay to sit on the chair?
Sir, please forgive me.
We will cut you to pieces.
They showered upon me innumerable insults. I implored for mercy and promised not to repeat this, and also promised to give up the job.
These stories did not break me. They became my fire, my ink, my fight. I refused to wait for a visa to humanity any longer. I wrote one for all of us called the Constitution of India. Let these stories not break you. Let them build you. Let them awaken justice. Educate, agitate, organize,